Hi, I'm Vicki Carey. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm an ADHDer, and I help ADHDers in my practice called A Shift in Focus. So if you're a person who is an ADHDer or neurodivergent, or you think you might be, I highly encourage you to find a neurodiversity-affirming therapist, an ND Affirming therapist. And what does that mean? Well, with an ND Affirming therapist, you're going to find someone who completely understands that this is just who we are and that we don't need to be fixed. That's a difficult one sometimes to come to terms with at first because we feel so much struggle. Of course, we go into therapy thinking, please help me fix this, right? So it's not a matter of fixing us, but it's a matter of looking at where does our ADHD show up and what do we need in those moments. So for example, a lot of people with ADHD get started on a project, which is hard enough, right? And maybe midway through it feel like, I can't do this anymore, I'm gonna stop, and we lose focus, right? And we feel like all this guilt and shame that we need to push through, we need to finish this, everybody's gonna think I'm lazy, I'm gonna think I'm lazy, and see how that can build up and that we can feel terrible about ourselves, and we still don't get the thing done, right? So an ND affirming therapist will look at things like that shame and the guilt and what are those messages we've heard all our lives and what's the truth. And when we look at the truth of it, this is really just how our brains work, and we just need to approach things in a different way that supports us, okay? So with an ND affirming therapist, maybe it would look like, hey, if you get off track in the middle of doing that thing, like cleaning the kitchen, so what? Number one. But number two, maybe you need something in that moment. Most likely that's what your brain is telling you. Maybe your brain's feeling overwhelmed or it doesn't have the dopamine to continue. So what does your brain need? And maybe your brain needs to take a break. Maybe your brain needs to go sit down and watch something dumb on TV for a little while, or to play a game on your phone, and maybe to set a timer so we don't get stuck in that for a long period of time if we don't want to, but to give into that need because it's important to, and then come back and see if the task is a little bit easier. And if not, then we look at other things, right? Other ways to address what we need in those moments. So I hope this helps to understand. You know, a neurotypical person might look at strategies like, well, keep focusing, push through, or challenge those thoughts and keep pushing through. And that's not what we need. So I hope this helps you today in thinking about therapy and finding someone to support you, or even just supporting yourself as you go through your ADHD journey. You take care and be well.